Remembering has become hauntology to me. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember. My deposition skipped like a record. Over 100 times, I don't remember. I know because I counted. I know because I needed to know something. Critics discuss trauma and art, use verbs like suture, like stitch, like mend, like heal, like what surgeons have done to my body. Frida Kahlo said, "I'm not sick, I'm broken." And Jean Berger said of her, "She is close up, proceeding with her delicate fingers, stitch by stitch, making not a dress, but closing a wound." We're meant to piece our stories and ourselves together, to construct one from the other, to extract something brilliant and liquid from the fog of pain, to build shining citadels out of hurt. But what is a rotunda to the rubble but a rear view? The difference between exhibition and excavation is one of degrees, and so much of surviving is assessing what's left. What now? The world narrows, splits, before rippling with after, the center a wound wound around time. The PTSD nightmares paralyze and wreck me, but one night I dreamt of falling. It felt so simple and light. Enduring is what I'm afraid of, not the end-all fall. I wouldn't remember not remembering, wouldn't spend all after looking at a two-way mirror, searching for an impact to blame. Like Frida, a bus crashed with me in it, and I don't remember, won't ever piece together what happened to me. I'd dig out a piece of glass to show you, but the scar tissue is doing its job, keeping the sharp shard from blooming, a forever bud among the vines.
Thank you, Sarah. Our next open micer is Nicole V. Basta. Please welcome Nicole.
You guys already heard a little bit about my ancestors, so it's cool to read about them. The title of this poem comes from a short Vietnamese film, and there's a line from Rigoberto Gonzalez in the end. Oh, can't read it that way. The living need light, the dead need music. Oh, I was going to tell you it's a sestina. Okay. It's a sestina because I haven't written in form in like 10 years. So, the living need light, the dead need music. There is too much animal in this field for instinct not to rise. Gun drawn, and there never was a trigger, not in this life. Tooth remnants carried on a plate of myth, a scrounge for the sacred, obedient braid, lighting our hair, even without the knot. Like rustled in grasses, only at the root, the knot I am choking on is her spit, troubled field. Are we stars, or are we seeds? Maybe braided amber, layered wreck, what's left versus what's drawn from the shrinking well. If what drinks this myth is wild with whisper, hold my lips like your life depends on the heated up song. A lifeline, a streak of rain on a window, rifled knot of an hour I forgot to pray for, our golden myth, power in bright memory, memory in plowing of fields I've never tended, distant fumble, a line drawn against the horizon, an instinct to make what's sacred a braid. When the sun toppled beneath the stickweed in a braid, it wasn't the first time I'm stateless in my life, meaning my ancestors kick at my seams, drawn in crayon, and conflicting things don't always roll knots, but sometimes negate, or should I say, it's empty, this field, or should I ask the emptiness, are we strays or are we myth? So the dead need music. I bang my knees on myth and no sound returns. I'm not asking to be heard, but to braid all of history so the song proves animal, vegetable, field. Human beings clap hands to say, I see you, or life is an analog sun giving us cancer or a nod or freckles to untangle beneath, or I don't want to be drawn from memory. Today, I shake off the accident of history. Cards drawn reveal I'm closest to a 3 of clubs, to 3 myths that tried to die, So are we living or are we not? What am I saying? Tell me, grandmothers, when you braid my curls into villages that no longer exist, is this life a kind of cone, the one I'm in, or is it overlapping fields? A woman's ash tastes different, someone said, as I braid my tongue with the wind, searching for solace or for a life or for a woman I know by only her eyes in my eyes, her body lost to the light, to a field.
Thank you, Nicole. Please mark your calendars. Nicole will be joining Lisa in April, so you get to hear more incredible poems. We've got 2 more open micers left. I know, my heart's broken as well. But I'm excited to introduce Jourden tonight. She has a short story or some fiction in the new anthology that's really fun to read, so you're in for a treat. Please welcome to the stage, Jourden.
Even though I have a short story in the collection, I'm actually going to read you 1 page from a personal essay that I wrote. Well, I started writing, so I was going to read y'all a poem, but I decided to be a little brave. I'm going to read y'all a page from this piece that I literally just started writing 2 days ago. So it's called Fleeting Glimpses of Hope. When you voluntarily admit yourself to a psych hospital, no one tells you that you'll have to wait over 7 hours in the ER first. You'll walk up to the ER window, looking haggard and broken, tangled hair, yesterday's shirt with no makeup and barely any shame. You'll say, I'd like to admit myself to the psych ward. You'll run the tips of your finger along the soft, recent scars on your wrist like a habit. You'll ask for some tissues because you're not crying yet, but you will be soon. Most of all, you'll tip and sway, feeling the threat of life, of death, of something stronger than you pull you under. Then you'll wait. On the night of the most difficult night of my life, I purchased a switchblade. The jar was sitting next to the lottery tickets and the candy bars. They were on sale. In an instant, my hand was in the jar, gripping a switchblade that said, I heart Houston. And I didn't heart Houston. I didn't plan to buy something sharp and dangerous, but I put the switchblade on the counter anyway. It was big and white because it didn't seem appropriate to slit my wrists with something pink or yellow. The switchblade was heavy, yet it felt natural in my hand. The edges of anxiety dulled just slightly as I held it, my fingers wrapped around the crevices. The cashier sold the weapon to me without any question, $7.49. That's how much I paid for the scars I'd later create. Once the switchblade was open, I didn't know how to close it. So it stayed open, with the knife long and sharp and in my light of sight for months on end, the edge of the blade reflecting the light and the Made in China sticker still on the blade. At some point I Googled how to close a switchblade and watched a video tutorial, but this man, this hunter, he made it seem so simple, so natural, like closing fingers into a fist or stepping your foot into a shoe. But I was not a hunter nor a man. I was a broken person who brought a broken switchblade. I was not a hunter, but I was hunting. I was hunting for that feeling, that yearning of pain. So I kept the open switchblade and the side handle of my car door, the place where you stuff used tissues after crying on the way to work, or where you throw used receipts or let them gather dust until finally throwing all of that trash away. I used to do that until it became the new home of my switchblade. Until then, I made sure to remove any trash, and I kept the spot otherwise empty. The switchblade lay open, hidden to anyone else in the car, but in plain sight to the driver, like a threat. But the only person under threat was me. Thanks.